I'm Jimmy Cypher. Let's rock. All right, top 10 guitar lesson myths, number 10. In order to play the solo I'm trying to play, I must learn the tab exactly and replicate it note for note. This is absolutely false and ties into guitar lesson myth number 9, become the best at being you. You want to develop a skill set instead that takes a template of the solo that you're trying to learn and what I call the anchor phrases that people really gravitate towards, that they expect to hear when they hear that solo. So the most obvious thing would be any part that you can whistle. After all, that whistleable melody in any solo, everyone expects to be there. Certain solos you do have to play pretty much exactly, because if you change anything, Cliffs of Dover, the first 3 solos in Sweet Child of Mine, not the 4th actually, but the first 3. The first solo to Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd, not the outro, which is actually a composite of 4 different improvisational takes by Gilmour on that. But very often the most challenging parts of the solo are the fast bursts that'll be sextuplets or 30-second notes or whatever, and you really just have to capture that intensity in a way that more or less moves in the direction of the music. If it starts high and then tumbles all those notes down low, you want to basically end where it's at. Les Claypool once said famously, start on the right note, end on the right note, and wail in between. And from a live performance standpoint, you're really better crafting something in those fast bursts that comes naturally to you, because the guitarist that whose solo you're trying to replicate, you're not them. You two are wired differently, and so you're always going to be chasing their neurology and trying to do something that doesn't come natural to you. And this is one reason why a lot of stuff that you see that's played note for note online or wherever, it tends to sound really stiff and regimented. And while that has its place and it's important to see what the artist is doing and how they're playing it, you don't want to take this too literally, because it tends to take the life out of things. I once saw in school psychology class one time, they had taken these English grammar professors had taken the Gettysburg Address and they had corrected it and made it into perfect English grammar. And it was the most horrible thing you've ever read. That was the whole point of this research article on it, was how when you make it perfect, it just sucks the life out of it, because it just doesn't hit you in the chest. You want that performance that hits you right in the chest. It makes the audience stop talking to each other, turn around and go, whoa, what was that I just heard? And very often that's you pulling the best performance out of you, instead of trying to play note for note and replicate something that someone else is doing perfectly. So you want to be true to the song, but you don't want to let it constrain you or confine you at the same time. This is a skill set that I teach all the time that takes a while to get the hang of. There's an instinct or an art you have to develop to knowing what you can take out, what you can't, and how much you can massage things. But this is one of the secret weapons of professional guitar players. If you meet cover band guitarists who have like a 500 song repertoire, I remember one time I knew a guy who was in a cruise ship band making 6 figures of each member per year on this cruise ship, and the entertainment one night would be a reggae band, and then the next night it's a top 40 disco band, and the next night it's classic rock, hard rock, and then it's blues, and then the 5th night it was Latin, or 6th night was jazz, or whatever. And the punchline was the costumes changed every night, but it was all the same guys playing in it was the same band every night. but it was a completely different repertoire with hundreds of songs. And the trick to this is knowing what you can change, what you can't, to learn the song as quickly as possible. That's a big thing I stress in lessons. All right, don't take the tab too literally. Jimmy Cypher out.